Morning, guys. Justin here again with Texas Ally. Yesterday we were talking about owner finance from the buyer's perspective, from a consumer's perspective, and how there's a couple real simple things that you can use to try to reduce counterparty risk, reduce risk to you as a consumer. On the investor side, and I'm sure, we were already getting a little bit of backlash on it. From the investor's perspective, they probably don't like exactly what I said, because those things, those wraparounds, is precisely some of the instruments and mechanisms that they use to make a lot of money real fast, because you can acquire and control an asset for very little money. A lot of times these guys are taking over notes, and the stereotypical or a very typical scenario is they're behind on payments, they're going to go into foreclosure, they don't have that much equity, and a distressed seller, let's say, there's not enough equity on it, so the idea is, instead of buying the property outright, that they just assume the note, and maybe they catch up the payments for a little bit, and they're in controlling an asset for, let's say, $5,000-$6,000, which is insane. You're controlling a $300,000-$400,000 asset. And let's say, the mortgage payment's $2,000 a month, and in today's numbers, you might be able to sell that thing owner finance at $3,000 a month, and now you're making a yield spread of $1,000 for 30 years. So $12,000 a year times 30, not a bad number. These yield spreads are killer. Interest. This game is insane. So I completely understand why someone's going to do that. And there's a few people that do it. There's just, my beef with it is there's unscrupulous people that ruin the reputation of those strategies. And so if you're going to go about it, and it's an awesome strategy. You have a responsibility of taking care of the people that you're holding the note for. So don't do anybody any, don't do people wrong. That's all I'm getting at. So now, okay, so from the investor's perspective, amazing tool in the toolkit. Absolutely insane, because it opens up the financing opportunities to not just people with 700 plus credit scores and have cash for 20% down or whatever. You're opening the window, and historically this has worked really. The two, for lack of a better term, the two groups, the two demographics that I've seen is it's usually useful on the entry-level market, and then also business owners. So the two, historically, the people that have trouble getting credit from regular banks. What do you know? Entry-level side, hopefully that's self-explanatory. They probably don't have the best credit to begin with, and so this is their alternative. A lot of people are usually self-employed in this space. So contractors, and going back to self-employed, on the self-employed side, this goes the price range goes way higher on the owner finance side. And so I've seen people, they'll owner finance. I've seen people do a lot of business deals owner finance, because they're so weird, and you have to be very familiar with the deal for it to make sense if you're a bank. And a lot of big banks are not. They're so big and cumbersome and bureaucratic and slow. They don't have the street smarts to figure out if a commercial deal is a good deal or not to finance. And so that their response to that is just be tighter with their underwriting criteria. So you see it a lot on the business side, on the commercial side. Business owners for their own residential assets for similar reasons, because they write off all their income. They don't have as much AGI, or I forgot what it is, adjusted gross income. So their taxable income is not as high, and so their DTI ratios look out of whack, right? So those are your demographics. And if you're the real estate agent, a lot of times this is an option, and there are a couple of places where you can Let me do that in a different video, and I can talk to you about like how to execute on an owner finance deal. But that's enough for now. This is Justin, Texas Alley. I'll catch you later, guys. See ya.